This is a video that I have been wanting to make for the last couple of days now, and I was trying to figure out where can I squeeze the actual video in because I had so many things to discuss, but I found a spot and I'm glad that I did because I really wanted to talk about this. So in case y'all are unaware, there was this incident that happened at the US Open between Taylor Townsend and this woman named Jelena Ostapenko, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, where something happened after the match occurred. Of course, Taylor Townsend ended up winning, but then there was a verbal altercation between the two players. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna insert the clip and then I'm gonna come back with my commentary.
One thing you know for sure, Taylor Townsend ain't for backing down.
Not at all. You can see that emotion coming out of Taylor there. The entire court on court 11. Taylor egging it on. You love to see that competitive fight. All she's been through.
Now, when you look at that clip, you really can't tell what they're actually arguing about or talking about, except in the first couple of words. If you listen to the clip clearly, you can hear Taylor telling Jelena, I don't have to apologize for anything, because Jelena said that she had to apologize for something, but then Taylor says, I don't have to apologize for anything, and after that you can't hear anything. It's almost like the mic got cut, so all you heard was them just talking back and forth. And then when I saw Jelena put her finger in Jelena's area, like near her face, I already knew it was something serious. So at the time, I'm looking at the clip, I have no idea what they're arguing about. But the thing is, you can hear the people booing Jelena, and then as soon as Taylor walks away, everybody's cheering her. She's, boosting the crowd up. They're yelling out her name and all types of stuff like that, because she was the one that bested Jelena in the match. Now, what I ended up finding was a post interview that Taylor did. It's a small clip. It's about a little under a minute, and in this clip you're actually going to find out what made Taylor go at Jelena for what she said.
Congratulations, fiery match start to finish. We'll get to it all. Can you fill us in on the conversation you were having with Jelena out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's competition. People get upset when they lose, and you can't. Some people say bad things. She told me I have no class, I have no education, and to see what happens when we get outside the U.S. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I beat her in Canada outside the U.S. I beat her in New York outside the U.S. So let's see what else she has to say.
You were down 5-3, won 9 straight games. What changed for you?
Honestly, I just locked in. I mean, she was playing really well at the beginning, and when she was playing well, I didn't say anything, and so that just shows class. I mean, sometimes people are playing too good and you have to just take it, but I turned it up another level, and that's what I'm most proud of today.
Fire from the crowd as well. What did this crowd, we saw it in your first round as well, give you today?
Yeah, I mean, I love this crowd so much, and they were cheering for me from start to finish, even when Alana was playing well, and the crowd was cheering for her too. I mean, she was hitting some amazing shots, but this is what I live for.
So you heard it right there. So basically, Jelena, and I've been calling this woman Jelena the whole time, but her name is Jelena, so the J is silent, basically called Taylor Townsend a black woman, a black tennis player, saying she had no class and that she was uneducated. That is very triggering, especially to a black person, especially if it comes out of the mouth of a white person. It doesn't matter from where in the white diasporic region it comes from. To tell a black person that they have no class and that they're uneducated, those are buzzwords, those are trigger words, and I'm glad that Taylor did not back down to her, but at the same time, I'm glad she didn't get physical with her either, because you already know what they would have said. Like, she just used the words, and she bested her in the match, and she bested her in the confrontation. So it is what it is. Then I looked a little bit more into this, because I'm like, okay, what else happened with this besides her just calling her classless and uneducated? And then when I was looking up in articles, they said something about a net cord. Now, mind you, I don't know tennis lingo whatsoever. I don't really follow tennis. I don't follow it at all, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just know the couple of people that are there. And based on what I found, it says a net cord can refer to the physical rope or wire at the top of a tennis net that supports it, or it can refer to a shot in tennis where the ball hits the top of the net before landing on the opponent's court, often causing the ball to change direction and speed significantly. And when a player wins a point from such a lucky shot, it is customary to show a brief gesture of apology to the opponent as a form of sportsmanship. And I have seen that before, but I just never knew what it was called. So basically, it's just like when a person hits it over the net, but it doesn't go all the way over the net, it bounces off the net and then goes over, which of course can mess up how the ball lands, because it's basically almost like a hurdle. Like, imagine if someone's running and they're doing hurdles and their back of their leg or their foot hits the hurdle, it messes them up. Like, they can chip up and fall, it'll slow them down. That's basically what they're talking about in the form of this net cord thing involving the tennis ball. But basically, that's what apparently Jelena was mad at with Taylor about, because they said apparently the net cord happened from Taylor's side, and Jelena was like, why didn't you apologize? And Taylor was like, I don't have to apologize for anything. And I wonder if that's a call that has to be made from the refs or something like that. Again, I'm not too familiar with tennis. Someone out there who is, please let me know. So that's what ended up happening. But I think the thing that really pissed Taylor off, of course, was when Jelena called her classless and uneducated. Like, that hit, that's a, like I said, it's a trigger word when it's told to a black person, especially from a white person. And I think anybody knows who is black definitely knows what that's like, or feels what that's like, if that's ever happened to them or anyone that they know personally. So of course people had to weigh in on it, but two people in particular definitely had something to say about it. And those two people were Naomi Osaka and Coco Gauff. Now, of course, y'all know that Coco and Naomi, they're doing their thing, especially Coco, as of recently. And, you know, Naomi, she's doing her thing as well. And I think it's very appropriate that they come out and they support her because of this. Well, because, last month, or maybe a couple months back, I can't remember, I did a live stream about that chick that had said something about Coco when she had beat her in one of those matches. And Naomi, she was dealing with stuff herself a couple years ago, and they always have something to say. And don't get me started on the Williams sisters, because we already know the history with that. So I'm gonna go over briefly this article. It says that the talk of the US Open since Wednesday has been the post-match altercation between American Taylor Townsend and world number 25 Jelena Ostapenko, in which a heated argument broke out between the two players after Townsend's second round win. It says Townsend later shared what Ostapenko had said to her on the court, saying that she had no class and no education, and that's what ended up causing the outburst. Now I'm gonna skip around a little bit and go down to what Naomi and Coco had to say. It says that fellow American Coco Gauff and two-time U.S. Open winner Naomi Osaka, both of them emphasized how great a person Townsend is on and off the court. They said, I know what was said after the match. I think it was a heat of the moment thing. I think Jelena was probably feeling emotions after she lost. I do think that it shouldn't have been said regardless of how you are feeling, Coco said on Thursday night after her second round win. Knowing Taylor personally, she's the opposite of that. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met. And whenever I've had a tough moment on the court, she's texting me, checking in on how I am. And I really hate to see how all of this went down. It goes on to say, maybe this is some of the first people hearing who Taylor Townsend is. I'm gonna be honest, it's my first time, because again, I don't follow tennis. It says, I don't want that to be the main focus of who she is. She's a lot more than that. She's a mom, she's a great friend, a talented tennis player, and a good person. At the end of this tournament, I hope that will do a deep dive. People that would do a deep dive into her and get to know her more than what was said in the previous match. Basically, for people who don't know who she is and trying to make it seem like she was wrong for standing up for herself. And that's another reason why I'm glad Coco and Naomi came out to defend her, because they know exactly where that can go, because they don't want them to say, oh, Taylor's being the angry black woman. We don't know who she is. Who does she think she is? How dare she? Because that's what they're going with. As a matter of fact, when I first saw this and I was going through some comments, people were trying to say, I'm glad Taylor stuck up for herself, but I wish she would have just left off the court after she had her confrontation with Jelena. She didn't have to boost up the crowd. I'm like, see, again, damn if you do, damn if you don't. That's really all it boils down to. Now, going on to what Naomi says, she says, I mean, it's a really difficult to say. I think obviously it's one of the worst things that you can say to a black tennis player in a majority white sport. She also goes on to say, and granted, I know Taylor and I know how hard she's worked and I know how smart she is. So she's the furthest thing from uneducated or anything of the like. But if you're like genuinely asking me about the history of Ostapenko, I don't think that's the craziest thing she said. I'm going to be honest. And I think it's ill timing and the worst person you could have ever said it to. And I don't know if she knows the history of it in America, which she probably doesn't. But I know she's never going to say anything like that ever again in her life. That remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean, it was just terrible. Like, that's just really bad. So there you have it. But shout out to Naomi and Coco for coming to her defense and telling it like it is. But all in all, congratulations to Taylor Townsend for her win. F this Jelena chick, whoever the hell she is. But I have a feeling that if Jelena would have won that match, she probably wouldn't have said much anything about that net cord thing. But it's the fact that she lost that I believe that's when the fangs started to come out. But like I said, had she had won, she probably would have just let that slide.
But wait, there's more.
Y'all know how I said earlier in the commentary, I wish there was another angle I could have seen this from so I could hear what was actually said. Well, thank God for Threads, because I was getting ready to upload the commentary and I just happened to go on Threads just to see what notifications I might have had on there. And then I was scrolling through and somebody posted up another angle of this conversation or this confrontation that both of these women had. And in this one, you can actually hear everything that was being said and see it from a different angle, which makes this even more interesting and a funny send-off, or a walk-off rather, from Taylor Townsend. So go ahead and check this out. Now, after seeing it from that angle, I feel a little bit even more comfortable. Not saying that I wasn't already, but that one actually makes me feel good. And then the part where I'm playing in the endless loop of her walking off is the icing on the cake. I have to give a shout out to the person who recorded this or got this and put this on TikTok and then posted it in Threads. And then shout out to the person who clipped this part right here of her putting her hand on her chest and saying it with a smile and then walking off. If it pisses a PC person off anything more than them losing to black people or whatever they feel like they might be aggrieved at the moment with a black person, is when a black person gets the best of them in a conversation or an argument and a black person leaves them on red or leaves them just like hung in the conversation, and they just smile and say have a nice day and walk off. I think Taylor said nicely played or something like that, smiled and then put her hand on her chest and then walked off. They don't like being, let me put it this way, they don't like being ignored. This reminds me of an incident that happened years ago at my job when someone there got real confrontational with me. It was a PC guy for something he did that was wrong. And then when I decided to not engage with him anymore, he was trying to run up on me like he wanted to do something, and he realized he couldn't because one, there was a whole bunch of people around. They knew what he was like. They was looking at him crazy already. And two, my supervisors and security, both for inside of the vicinity and DC and the police, were actually there waiting for him. So he could have tried something if he wanted to, but it wouldn't have worked out for him in the end. But the point of the matter is they don't like being ignored. I think that's one of their biggest pet peeves. Even when they are in the wrong, they don't like it. And this Jelena chick probably felt some type of way that Taylor said what she said and smiled and walked off. If you notice, we didn't see the angle when Jelena was trying to hype up her crowd. All they could do was just wave at her and clap. Meanwhile, Taylor, she helped hype the crowd up. I mean, they jumping up, and y'all saw the other angle. They jumping up and down and saying, "You go, girl," and all types of stuff. People recording it. So, hey, it is what it is. Shout out to Taylor Townsend, both for getting the win and for this walk-off. I'm telling you, this what you're seeing playing in this loop is going to become a meme. I'm guaranteeing it's going to become a meme.